Hi, I'm Steph Whittaker at PCT TV. We're now joined by Kate O'Brien, who's a senior research nurse at Albany House Medical Centre. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
What advantage are there to placing trials in primary care?
Well, first and foremost, it's patient safety because we are the patient's doctors, so we know their full medical history and we've got complete access to all of their medical records. So for source data verification, for patient safety, we've got everything on tap. Our years of caring for them and for their families mean we've got a really good relationship as well, so they will talk to us and we can discuss studies really openly. We can give them an unbiased view because when the study finishes, they're still our patients, so we want to make sure that they've made a decision that's right for them and not something they're going to regret. So we can have these open, honest discussions and they leave the building then feeling fully informed. Also, because we know them so well, it means we can accurately forecast. So for recruitment figures, we can do a search and we can have some idea of how many patients we can find. We can also weed out patients who won't be able to cope with the trial protocol, so that we are recruiting the best quality patients for that trial, the ones who are going to stay in it and who aren't going to be upset by it in any way. So,
You're at the best place to do
We
that.
are, yes. We actually know them and we know if somebody's perhaps got a husband at home suffering from dementia, so she wouldn't be able to come in regularly and things like that. So,
Okay. And so what trials can be placed in primary care?
Virtually anything that you go to see your doctor with, we can run a study into. So we've got the chronic diseases, the diabetes, hypertension, ones like that. We've got more acute conditions, so we can do migraine, we've done bladder urgency, things like that. We can do vaccine studies, we can do health promotion and quality of life studies.
It's really a full range.
We can do anything, We try to be very honest as a site. If we can't run the study, we'll say we won't take it on just to take on a study. We'll let them know. And really any phase 2 to phase 4 studies can be delivered in primary care, especially if they look carefully at the sites they select. So,
Okay. And what do you think a sponsor should look for when they're assessing a site for trials?
They really need to get the full picture. So first of all, look at the infrastructure. What support has the PI got? Is he a one-man band? Has he got a team behind him? So giving Albany House as an example, we have 4 investigators, 2 research nurses, a research practitioner and 2 research admin people. So he's got a full complement of staff. People ring up, there's somebody to answer the phone. So he's got all the support he's likely to need. Look at the facility itself as well. Have they dedicated a space to doing research, or is it a bit of a sideline rather than their prime concern? Again, with Albany House, we've got a couple of consulting rooms, a lab, IMP store, research office, record storage room. We have a dedicated monitoring room so that the monitors do have their own room to be in when they're there and they're not interrupted. We've got a quiet area where patients can complete their questionnaires. And although we're a really busy practice, nobody dare take these rooms away from me, so we've got our own space to do everything in. It is, another thing, look at the experience that a site's got. So what studies have they done in the past? Have they recruited to these? And also, don't just take their word for it. I was saying to somebody earlier, I can claim that I can walk the tightrope. It's not till you actually get me up there you realise I'd actually fall straight off. So have they got data to support this? We have data, we keep statistics on our recruitment rates and our targets met. We did have a first global randomised earlier this year, so we've got the letters about that. And Shannon, our IT lead, she's just starting to collect data on first patient, first visit dates met, so that we can show that sort of as soon as we're given the green light, we go. We can act really fast.
So you suggest that sponsors really look that the whole picture
is
there, the infrastructure's there before they take it on.
And it can be something as simple as what equipment has the site invested in. Have they gone out and bought themselves a fridge and a freezer and that? So look at everything.
Okay. And what added benefits are available?
We're quite lucky at our site. We've been involved in research for a long time and our investigators are quite open to letting us have ideas and run with them. So earlier this year we started a research interest group So we went out to some of our patients who've done studies in the past,
Yeah.
and well, we had a huge response. We've actually got 27 people on the group, and they'll do all sorts of things. They've helped Shannon build the website. With me, they'll look at patient information leaflets, give us feedback on sort of how practical a study schedule is, so that we can then feed back to the sponsor. And we have had interest from a couple of sponsors already on sort of using this for their materials.
So that's looking like, this is what we think.
Yes.
But we've actually taken this out and asked patients, and this
patients
is the feedback
say,
we've got.
yes, and because sometimes we may look at that and say patients won't want to come in weekly.
Yeah.
And they'll look at it and say, actually, for this they will,
Yeah,
because it's
it's
such an
worth it
important
for us,
thing,
yeah.
they would do it. And they'll look at patient information leaflets and say, you know, this isn't understandable, you need to put it into layman language.
Yeah.
So they do things like that. Amanda, our research practitioner, she leads on our health awareness days.
Okay.
So she did clinical trials awareness earlier this year, and a couple of weeks ago she ran the World Diabetes Day.
Okay.
And oh, they were so busy. They screened over 100 patients in the week, and they'd got sourced all this material. We got it in different languages, all sorts. And they actually had a gentleman who came in on the Monday with a fasting blood sugar of 23 when they picked his, a random blood sugar of 23 when they pricked his finger. Wow, by the Friday he'd been started on metformin. And if he hadn't come in for that screening...
that's ridiculously high.
Yes, yes. His HbA1c was in the 120s, I believe. Yes.
Wow.
So, you know, that was a really positive thing.
Yeah.
We're part of the Society of Clinical Research site, so I sit on a couple of the site advocacy groups.
Okay.
And that means that we can input into sort of really how trials are managed in the future and how it's easier for sites to manage studies. You know, we're looking at ways of making things sort of patient-friendly and
So
site-friendly.
this is great because it's coming from such a patient-centric view.
Yes, it is.
Which is
great.
great.
Yeah. Because I think that's the trouble. Patient-centric arrived as this buzzword, and people use it,
But aren't doing it.
but they aren't doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and start listening to your patients and listen to your sites. So, you know, if we're approached about a protocol and say, well, have you thought of actually funding this as a private investigation, because then it'll open up your patient database so much more? Think about it. Do it. We bang on regularly about patient payments because patients actually don't expect a payment, but it's really nice to be able to give them, you know, a reward for their time, for coming in. We had one woman who kept it, and she saved it all up towards her son's wedding, and it's just so nice to be able to do that. But it would be so useful if you do it easily, so that we haven't got to keep running around and raiding petty cash.
Yes.
You know, I was looking in the hall, and there's some payment systems in there that would make life so much easier for sites, but it needs the sponsors to be active and sort of source these
Backing
for
it.
us. So
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time today.
That's all right.
Thank
A pleasure.